Yesterday was all about creepy gay kid.
Oh, wow.
And today it's going to be all about Norton getting sued.
Jimmy Norton. Our own
Jimmy Norton. Welcome back, Jimmy.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Jimmy's been in L.A. for pretty much the whole week. He comes back to find that some, in my opinion, douche is suing him.
Mommy, I need attention, Mommy.
Yeah, it was in the papers. In the papers. Both the paper, New York papers here, Daily News and the Post, about how this lawyer that had been on our show on the phone, he had a lawsuit. What was the initial lawsuit he had?
He was suing, I believe, because,
It was ladies' night. He was suing.
Right,
I think exactly what he was suing for.
clubs and bars for having ladies'
night. Because he thought it was sexist. Gender, I guess, exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
And we were having a discussion with him about that.
Yeah.
And then we just wanted to know about other things he was involved in, and his take on other, social issues. And he was called out, in Jimmy's opinion, as being a phony.
Yep.
And in our opinion, the guy came across as, at least, I'll say in my humble opinion, as hypocritical, and he really took offense to that. And Jimmy,
Well, the funny thing is we
started being the comedian he is.
Yeah, it started out as a real interview, like, wow, this guy's suing, let's get him on the phone. And then, it turned ugly because we were like, "What? This guy is a."
Yeah, he had this, and at first we were on his side,
Completely
on his side. He was able to actually turn us around and make us not like him
within a half hour.
Yeah.
You know how much I have to hate you for you to be suing an annoying woman's cause and for me to fight you on it?
Yeah, exactly.
What a tool you have to be.
So let's read this. And Jimmy, you do what you feel like you could do because you're being sued by this guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a crack lawyer.
Yeah. The headline in the Daily News: lawyer cries foul.
I get it.
FOWL, which is very key to this story.
Yes.
There's a lot of laughs in this article. I got to be honest, Jimmy.
It's one thing to hear it, to sit here and hear it. But then when you read some of these things in print, even funnier.
Suit claims Opie and Anthony co-host defamed him with chicken gag, insults.
Yeah.
One vile insult apparently deserves another.
By the way, this Jose Martinez who wrote this Daily News article, I have a couple of small issues with.
All right.
I'll get to him.
You jump in when you want to, there, Jimmy. So a Manhattan lawyer trashed on the Opie and Anthony show as a dumb...
bunch of lines.
And a bunch of lines. Is that for
I don't know.
A bunch of lines. So
wouldn't it be a blank blank?
I don't know. AH they should just put.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's that. Okay.
It is that.
Oh, it is that. Okay. All right. So a Manhattan lawyer trashed on the Opie and Anthony show as a dumb what could we say they're at?
Well, it would be a
dumb lawyer.
The AH word.
You know what it is. It's where you expel food.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. Who wants to have sex with chickens is suing the potty mouth comic who ripped him on air, calling him a coward.
Well,
self-proclaimed anti-feminist Roy Hollander, who last year sued Columbia University over a women's studies program. That's what it was.
Yes. That wasn't the lawsuit.
The women's studies program, right.
That demonizes men, filed the suit.
Oh, and then we had gotten into a discussion about other groups that have their own studies programs. Yeah. He was so against the women's study programs. So we're like, well, what about schools that have exclusive black study programs? And he thought that was fine and dandy and there was no problem with it. And that's when we called him out as being a hypocrite.
Right.
Because if one group, if he agrees that one group should have this, then why not another? And he wasn't able to make a point as to why he was against the women having their own study group, but blacks can have their own, and everything is fine and dandy. But
This started as a legit interview.
Yeah.
I want to make
I'm the
that
one who
perfectly
wanted
clear.
him on because I was actually, I like, this is why I just hate this guy. Because I legitimately like the fact, because I think sometimes those study groups are men bashing.
Yeah.
And I was actually on his side. That's what annoys me so much about this guy.
All right. It blasts celebrity hound funny man Jim Norton.
Celebrity hound.
It's like,
I love that. Like you're chasing
Hey,
celebrities.
Jose,
What you do.
yeah, what's with the adjectives? Just right. What are you doing?
Celebrity hound. It sounds to me like he might be a listener. And he's kind of throwing these things in, because it's funny.
Maybe,
it is funny to call you a celebrity hound.
Fantastic.
You're just running around with a Sharpie.
That's accurate.
Could you please sign this, Bob?
He could have said it blasts boob funny man, idiotic funny man, irritating. There's many words he could have used.
Of course. It blasts celebrity hound funny man Jim Norton, an Opie and Anthony co-host, as a phony and a loser who wastes much of his empty life trying to revolt people.
Can I please wonder? I have to see that. If I've not seen this, like paperwork, are those words in the paperwork? Is that actually an illegal document?
Yeah, because
if it is, I have to have that framed.
You got to.
if you're that upset that you want to strike back, guys, I want to be heard. If you need to be heard that badly that you have to insult somebody through a lawsuit just because that gets your insults into the newspaper, like, would you actually in a legal document put that someone is a phony and a loser who wastes much of his empty life trying to revolt people?
Yeah, he's assuming your life is empty.
Not even that bad of an assumption. I mean, I pay for prostitutes. Fair enough. But why in the legal document, sweetie?
You might be able to countersue because, you know,
and talking
accusations here, my friend.
and talking to this gentleman, on the phone, we started delving a bit into his personal life and talk about empty and lonely and desperate. His dance, what was it? He went to a hip-hop class?
Yeah, hip-hop dance class.
Hip-hop dance class.
I think we got his MySpace, and we're making fun of a lot of the stuff that he was into.
Oh, did we tease
Put it this way. This guy, to me, is creepy old guy trying to get young chicks. And for me to say that, wow.
Yeah.
that is really saying something.
You're talking to Anthony, the substitute teacher, Comia.
Let's continue. So the men tangled during Hollander's August appearance on the Opie and Anthony show on XM Satellite Radio, where an interview about Hollander's beef with Columbia went X-rated in a hurry. I had never heard of Opie and Anthony, Hollander said. I just went on there as if it were just another radio talk show.
Well, it is just another radio talk show, but I have trouble believing that anyone who lives in New York who is hasn't heard of the Opie and Anthony show.
He heard of us.
Yeah.
He heard of us.
Well, he's a lawyer. I mean, that's, you know.
Lawyer. That says enough right there.
Exactly.
Right.
Hopefully he'll wind up like other lawyers, like Johnny Cochran.
Old Puddinhead.
The lawyer says Norton defamed him in an obscenity-laced tirade. Hollander also said the star of HBO's comedy showcase Down and Dirty, which is on Friday nights at midnight on HBO.
Nice plug.
Right after the Bill Maher show. With Jim Norton, called him a phony at least 10 times and joked that the chicken crossed the road to avoid having sex with Hollander.
Do you know how great that is? Thank you for putting that.
Right.
Of course, it's fantastic.
Hence the headline, Lawyer Cries Foul.
Yeah.
I called him a phony.
Yeah.
Like, you're a phony.
You so got him on that one. Wow. He must have been hurt.
Like, what a funny word to put in the paper. Accused him of being a phony baloney.
A phony baloney.
Made fun of his dance classes.
I just love how the "why did the chicken cross the road" joke got in the paper.
I know.
With a fantastic answer.
Of course it is, because it wanted to avoid having sex. Like, first of all, if that was the truth, that's a legitimate reason for any chicken to cross the road. If a chicken is not sexually attracted to a human, why wouldn't it cross the road? We're bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Tony, they're scared.
Of course they are. What would you do if King Kong wanted to have sex with you?
You're crossing the road.
Hopefully to hide from it.
Yes.
Poor chicken.
Tony in California.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony.
Good morning, man. Happy birthday, little Jimmy.
No, come on, let's go.
Go, get to the point.
Isn't this the same guy that challenged you to a duel somewhere down in a South American country or something like that?
Yes, I believe this is the same man who, while we were arguing, said that it's legal to duel in another country, so we should fly down and duel.
I believe it was Peru or somewhere.
Yeah, and he was dead serious. He wanted to duel Jimmy in this some country.
So basically what that's saying is, in the middle of this argument, which is all it turned into, was just a name-calling argument, that he thought it would be appropriate to fly somewhere and get guns and one of us shoot each other dead.
Yeah. That was his solution.
That's your solution.
Jimmy's solution is to use his comedic talents to bring a little fun, sarcasm to the conversation, and his was to shoot you dead.
Yeah. It's like, that was your idea. Like, we should, like my question was, would we go to the airport together? Would we meet at, like, all right, I'm going to take JFK. What flight you taking? I got the 8:30, but I don't think there's any aisle seats. How about this? You take the 8 o'clock, and I'll meet you down there. You want to split a cab? I mean, one of us is going to shoot the other to death in a duel.
You might as well split a hotel room, too.
Yeah, and look, does whoever shoots the other to death in the duel, do we call the kin of the next of kin, or should we allow our friends to do it? What do you think?
Should you get a two-way ticket? Because you don't know who's flying back.
Should we fly first class because those are refundable, and you figure, look, if I kill you,
you might as well, because one guy
of us ain't coming back.
One of us ain't coming back.
One guy doesn't have to pay the bill. So Tad in Illinois had something. Listen, the listeners know more about this story than we do, because it was just one of those dumb things we did. We do a lot of crazy stuff.
You were just another one in the long line of idiots we've had on the phone.
Yeah, you're just a throwaway segment, but now the listeners have to help us out and remind us of stuff. This guy was going to say that this guy set up the chicken joke because he goes, "You're a comedian, say something funny."
I believe that was true, which is just hilarious.
So,
and I think it was a damn good one.
It was a doozy.
It really was. But
Lulu.
Now we know why this show was never replayed, because the boys behind the scenes were hinting, So I guess something was going on behind the scenes that no one told us about. Yeah. Now this is a valuable segment to the Opie and Anthony community.
It's amazing to actually like tie up the legal system with this crap.
Horse crap.
This is exactly what some of these lawyers, such as this gentleman, do that really give lawyers a horrific name. This is exactly what they do. This is what I see as a frivolous lawsuit that's tying up courts' resources so that real, authentic, legitimate cases have to be pushed back, have to be delayed. The whole legal system's tied up because of lawyers like this gentleman who was a little personally insulted, and instead of taking it like a man, he has to bring it into the courtroom to get attention for himself.
It's mind-boggling how in an argument where he actually was allowed to talk, it wasn't like we turned his mic down. He was responding and I was responding.
Yes.
To drag the legal system into what amounted to two people arguing is mind-boggling.
Well, when I got the Google alert yesterday, I thought this was The Onion or something. I really thought this has to be a goof.
Fake.
Yeah, but it's real. Let's say hi to Dennis in Pennsylvania.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Go Phillies, by the way, Dennis.
Oh, boy.
I want to know, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I want to know when tickets go on sale for your court appearances.
Ah.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I actually will be selling tickets for my court appearances in Boston, November 15th at my Wilbur Theater show, the 9:45 show. I don't know if it's sold out or not.
All right, let's continue here. So, down and dirty, blah, blah, blah. All right, so joke that the chicken crossed the road to avoid having sex with Hollander. Here we go. The $500,000 lawsuit slams Norton as a wealthy fraud, masquerading as a man of the people.
First of all, I wish I was a wealthy fraud. I do well. But wealthy, I don't know. I don't think of what I make as wealthy.
Right.
Jimmy lost everything. You lost everything in the stock market the last 3 weeks.
Oh, am I taking a beating?
We all have.
About 70 G's down.
Oof.
Already.
On safe stocks.
And that's as of October 1st. My statement. I looked at my statement yesterday and I'm like, oh my
Only
God.
since October 1st?
No,
that's
up till October.
Up till October 1st. So it still doesn't include, from October 1st till now, where
Right.
it's really taking a
Right.
beating.
Right.
So I don't even.
It's funny you opened up your statement because I got mine
You
yesterday.
ever get your statements and just not open them?
That's exactly what I did
Like,
yesterday.
I don't want to look.
I don't know why you looked. I got the statements from our guy, and I just threw them in the shredder. I swear to God, I'm like,
Yeah, I don't wanna look.
I can't even handle this. I can't even handle this. All right, so the $500,000 suit slams Norton as a wealthy fraud masquerading as a man of the people.
Wait, who runs around like I'm a man of the people?
You are a man of the people.
Maybe I think I am maybe I'm a man of the people. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on sex.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of a big shot does that? I'm pretty much a man of the people.
You are.
You know what?
You're
That's
a
what I
man
am.
of the people.
And I'm going to sue you for saying I'm a wealthy fraud.
Yeah.
I'm an almost wealthy pervert. Get it right.
He's not a fraud.
You know, it's a new century here. I think we got the trial of the century happening right in
Yeah.
front of our eyes.
Yep.
It said his alleged humor centers on a 2000 event when he and other comedians were arrested for stuffing a Manhattan bus with topless women to promote the Opie and Anthony show.
What?
That comes out of nowhere.
Wow.
Wait.
The voyeur bus? Jimmy was famous before the voyeur bus.
Wait, but he said my humor, for someone that never heard of the show,
Yeah.
he dug 8 years back into the voyeur bus incident.
He Googled your name, Jimmy.
But why would that all of a sudden be one of my humor centers? This man's a silly goose.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly
Don't
is.
sue me for saying that.
It was just a Google.
He called me a ridiculous waterfowl. No, it was a silly goose.
This guy has such a foul mouth, I'm beginning to think he uses his tongue to clean up toilets, Hollander said.
This guy is funny. And you know what? You're not that far from the truth, kiddo.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, well, uses his mouth as a toilet.
But that's why a guy like that will sue.
Yeah.
This is right there in that statement. That's his idea of a funny comeback.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and there's nothing worse. And I hate to tell you this, kiddo. I hate to tell you this if you're listening. And you are
I'm sure
listening.
he's taping and listening.
Please tape away.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than someone who's like a lawyer or some other profession, a doctor, anything, trying to like be funny and not being funny. And in this statement, he uses his tongue to clean up toilets. That's how dirty his mouth is. Like, that's your idea
Yeah.
of a funny... How many times have you tried to be funny? Whether it's at your hip-hop dance class or other places. Wherever it is.
Or at that bar you go to try to score with the chicks that you were talking about.
And there's that awkward, uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
Where they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Again, he tried to be funny.
That means you bombed.
Yeah. That's pathetic.
You know the guys listening. Hollander, call up the dump show, please. Let's discuss this. Norton did not respond to requests for comment. They always do this. They never.
Liar, pants on fire.
Well, at least
Whenever
I'll
you
say-
get in trouble, they always say that they try to get a hold of you for comment. It's BS.
yeah.
Jose didn't...
No one called us. No one called you. No one called our agent about this. Nothing.
No, we never
guy-
hear anything.
The guy in the post who I'll get to, I have a problem with, or is it a girl, Dara, lied outright and said that I didn't respond to a phone call request, which is an out-and-out lie. That's just not the truth.
Yeah.
But
They all do that, and there's no real way to prove
Except
it.
to say that
they get away with that all the time.
Yeah, except to say it's
a lie.
Oh, I know.
That's one way to deal with it.
True. The suit filed in Manhattan Supreme Court also calls Norton a celebrity suck-up who launched into profane on-air rants against Yankee captain Derek Jeter and Kiss frontman Gene Simmons because they wouldn't give him autographs.
No, see? Again,
See?
this guy's just
False.
out-and-out lying. My tirade against Gene Simmons was because he wouldn't take a photo with me in Vegas when I did.
Right.
Please,
Not about an autograph.
get my childlike kicking and screaming straight. Okay. I kept
reading-
I did blast Derek Jeter.
Of course, yeah.
I kept reading this yesterday going, this can't be real. This is so silly.
This is in court.
This is in court.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
court
judge
documents.
has to deal with this.
This is the legal system has to be tangled up in this idiocy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some judge that could be better used doing something else, litigating some other, or officiating over some other case, is now tied up with this garbage because this guy felt he was insulted over on the phone when he's in the paper all the time. He's always bringing lawsuits.
Always.
And then you come on radio shows I'm sure this isn't his first radio show.
I actually heard him on Tom Likas.
Really?
Yeah, it was a
Those
riveting
two must have
interview.
gotten along.
It was. So you say you like to. It was a terrific, riveting interview.
So the guy obviously is looking for publicity. That's what he does. That's why you go on a radio show, to get publicity for whatever you're doing.
Sure.
And then he doesn't like what we said or what Jimmy said to him or about him based on what he said. Jimmy didn't just pull this out of his crack and start rambling on about things. It was all based on what this guy was saying. He didn't just, you don't just pull out the guns and start blasting away. This guy wound up saying things where it gave us enough rope to hang him with. He was being, I don't know. His whole discussion about how he went to the hip hop class and how he goes out to the bars and tries to get these chicks and stuff was just. Ugh.
It was very laughable and very easy.
It was laughable.
Yeah.
Just picturing this guy that's way past his prime at a hip hop class.
And this is coming from Anthony once again.
Please, I'm certainly not past my prime, my friend. Let me tell you that.
You're still rocking.
Of course I am. But look at the picture of him right there. Could you see that at a hip hop class? And then we called him a hypocrite because he wouldn't. Some groups are fine to have their own classes in school, their own groups, and others aren't. He's a woman. It comes across to me as a misogynistic woman hater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I said to him at one point in the beginning was that's what I was like. What you said, I was like, I hope that you're not just kind of like a caricature in the sense of it's all about women. Like it's almost like if you're against any type of exclusionary behavior, or like whether it's based on gender or race or sexual orientation, anything that is completely for a group is by nature to me exclusionary.
Right.
So that was what I was like. I kind of like the fact this guy is suing for those stupid lady nights. Because if you had a guy night, some feminists would sue.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's all for racial preferences. And then I think I haven't heard the show since, and it turned into like the hip hop class. I'm like, oh, he's one of those guys who's trying to appease. I get it.
Right.
And that inconsistency annoyed me tremendously because to me that was hypocritical thinking. I think that inconsistency bothered me.
We called him guilty white guy.
Yeah, if I remember. Yeah,
he's guilty white guy. He's at the hip hop class. He's not. And it might sound funny for us to say, "Oh, this guy's misogynistic," but anytime we do anything, it's humor based when we go in that direction. This guy just, from his conversation over the phone, I found. That he came across as somebody that just legitimately doesn't like women.
Didn't he there was a situation with a wife where he got burned or something? And that's what I think where I really started to dislike him was when we talked about domestic violence. And he was implying that it was very even.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Something about
that
men
as
and women
many
have an equal thing.
As many men get beaten by their women.
Something like that.
And it's like, where do you come up with that stat?
All right, listen, we're really late for a break. Let's at least get the rest of this article in, and then we'll take a break and get into the post and the phone calls. It's crazy. The Insult Comics website, eatabullet.com. You should hire this guy.
Just help you out.
You should hire this guy as your publicist. He's doing more than your publicist is doing. Features photos of Norton posing with rappers, rockers, actors, jocks, and porn stars. The comedian has been a co-host of the raunchy morning radio show since 2002. We were off the air in 2002. Well, I guess. Part of it. Okay. And is known for irritating celebrity guests by screaming on the air.
Now, that I disagree with.
What?
I'm not known for...
You're known for that, Jimmy.
I'm known for being a worm who gets... Who have I fought with? Jesse Ventura.
Right.
Penn Jillette once, and then we liked each other, and the wrestler Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
it's not like I fight with our celebrity guests.
You do a lot more than that, and in most cases, you're not fighting with the celebrity guests. Absolutely.
No, I'm usually groveling and pretending their movies are good when they suck. That was a Jim Dandy film you did.
Yeah. Hollander insisted he's willing to debate Norton on Opie and Anthony again, but said he's learned a lesson. The next time somebody starts cursing on me on the air, I'll just hang up, he said. They're just a bunch of cowards who hide behind microphones. But we called him a coward. Now he's calling us cowards.
That's not nice.
Oh,
that's name call. Don't defame me. I'm not a coward.
Why you?
I'm a girly man.
Countersuit.
Yeah. Let's jump into a break. The phones aren't going anywhere. Everyone has a comment. If you want to add to the comments, 877-212-ONDA. And then you have issue with the Post and their article.
A little bit, not a big one. I don't like the fact they show a photo of Opie, Anthony, and the lawyer. And how about old brown eyes here?
Well, the picture is taken from your viewpoint.
Okay,
it's Norton's eye.
Jesus.
Good point. Thank you. That's a good spin.
Poor Jimmy, Opie and Anthony. Never a dull moment on the Opie and Anthony show.
We know what this song is. We come back to this. I love this.
I don't know.
Yeah, I love this.
You like this one?
877-212-0-A. We're in the middle of talking about Jim Norton's lawsuit.
I know. I've never been sued before.
In my opinion, a very frivolous lawsuit.
Of course it is.
Getting a lot of coverage today in the papers. A lot of people want to talk about it on the phones. Stunt Brain did a little search and found out that this guy that's suing you has how many? 8 lawsuits he's dealing with right now.
Lawsuits.
8 active lawsuits, and we can't really, unless we pay the money, we can't really find out what the lawsuits are all about.
How much does it cost?
How much?
Well, then why don't we pay the $3?
Oh, it's $3?
$20? We'll pay that.
Wait,
I'll take care
goddamn
of it.
$20.
I think this is what this guy does. He's a frivolous lawsuit guy.
You know what the thing is about the lawsuits? Like this is what annoys me about the way the legal system gets tied up. It's like when you're suing somebody, if someone goes on the air and you're a regular citizen and there's somebody saying, this guy's a pedophile, this guy's a murderer, this guy's a drunk, or whatever they're saying about you, and they're wrecking your reputation, to me, you have a right to sue them.
Yeah.
You know, if there's somebody who's seriously trying to hurt you, if you're a lawyer and you get into an on-air argument with somebody who agreed with you and then disagreed with you, and it gets nasty, to actually sue for that, to me, there's something so repulsive about that. To tie the legal system up with that garbage.
Well, speaking of which, the phones are lit with exactly that. Jimmy, Mike in Wisconsin. Mike.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mike.
Is it true that Dragon Wagon is going to join us as a class action?
The class action suit. Everyone that Jimmy's ever yelled at.
Yeah, Jim Norton had
get together.
Had a legendary argument with Dragon Wagon back in the day. And,
I would actually like to shake that guy's hand now. We had such a nasty one. What was that, 2002?
Yeah.
That's when he first came back on the air.
Yeah, it's a while ago. Everett in Canada. Everett.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
I was going to call in and be a smart aleck, but actually what it is I remember this caller, and I think, truthfully, the only reason he's ripped up at Jimmy is you guys called him out when Anthony was saying, no, I'm honest with women about my age, and this guy admitted to being a liar when he was meeting younger women.
Did he say? All I remember is, from what I remember, he wouldn't tell his age.
Yeah,
and I think that annoyed me. That to me, that's a very woman's quality. Is a woman say, don't ask how old a lady is. I think that annoyed me a lot. That somebody wouldn't. Like, I'm 40 years old. And there's times I want to have sex with girls who are 21, 20. There's times, yes. There's 24 hours in the day where I want to have sex with women who are in their early 20s. But I would never lie to them about my age, and I would never lie by omission. Yeah. And I think that annoyed me. And again, I'm going by memory. This is a couple months ago. But why would anyone not say their age? There's no shame in your age.
Exactly. And I remember him admitting to you, if you guys go back and listen to this, he admitted that he don't tell them his proper age.
Yeah, well, now we have to go. Now we have to go listen to that segment again. It was one of those "who gives a crap" segments. Yeah. It was okay. We remember Jimmy was awesome in it, but then we moved on with our show. To him, it was everything, and now he's suing over it.
All right. Well, I think, and if I got just a second for my smart-ass comment, I think what it is Anthony's going to be sued because some trucker's retread come off and he blew up and hit the ditch.
That's right. Yesterday I was bashing a trucker.
Yeah, so
I said, I hope his retread blows and he goes into a ditch and explodes. God, did he have me annoyed.
Did he?
Oh.
Why?
And you know something? I don't even remember.
Did he call you a celebrity hound? Or?
Yes.
You fake man of the people?
It wasn't justified. It really wasn't justified.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember, Danny, or anybody?
Well, because you were talking about truckers that when you're doing the shoulder
how
thing,
I'm driving.
They're going to let some of these guys, won't let you through.
Yeah.
And that angered this guy, and he said he would basically, crash into you.
In big traffic
if you were doing
jams.
That to him, right?
Yeah, in big traffic jams, I'll just do whatever the hell I please to get out of the traffic jam. And a lot of times truckers will pull onto the shoulder to keep you from passing. And this guy is calling me an ass and I don't know how to drive, so I just unloaded on him and wished a fiery truck wreck on him. And it got a little.
It was hilarious. Booby Man from Brooklyn. The listener's having a good time.
The
with this.
Booby Man. Wow.
Yeah, he writes, Opie, you better read my instant feedback or I will sue.
Sue everyone. I'm a lawyer, for God's sakes. Oh,
God, I hate the legal system.
Jimmy hurt me with his words. With his words, he hurt me. Well, my head was bashed apart, and my shoes fell off.
What words hurt you?
The phony, and the fact that he said I had sex with a chicken. I would never have sex with chickens.
Well, the chicken avoided having sex with you. Sir.
He crossed the road and there was traffic.
Yeah.
I was in danger.
I understand the chicken is suing for the implication too.
And the chicken?
The chicken, yes. The chicken. That's if you're being a woman, you're chicking.
Yeah, he's chicking.
I'm a fool. I'm a celebrity hound.
You are. All
right,
chasing celebrities. Woof, woof.
If you're just tuning in, Jimmy's getting sued because we got a whole new audience now. They're still waking up. You could read. How about you read that article, and that'll bring everyone up to date, and then you could kind of.
Well, the first one was, I think, by Jose. What his name was?
Jose Martinez.
Who said he reached out for comment, and he very well may have, through email or something like that. That's possible. I don't always get to my emails, anybody in the press who's. But this Dara Gregorian, just, unless they have an old number for me, is annoying me. Opie, I like when they don't have a lot of room for the headline. So they just kind of the Post are masters at condensing these things.
Yeah.
Why
into something that has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah, why that headline?
Because your name is the recognizable one. I know I'm not famous enough to have my own headline, and Anthony is just too common a name. So they took Opie.
Yeah.
It says, Opie DJ is bestial, guest suit. Opie DJ is bestial, guest suit.
There's a guy that's his whole job is to write headlines.
And
yes,
that's the best headline is so confusing. Yes. You have no clue what the story's about.
And self-proclaimed.
Oh, are we going to have to dump that?
Why?
I'm teasing, of course.
I didn't do a good job of reading.
Yes.
Self-proclaimed anti-feminist lawyer Roy Den Hollander has filed a $500,000 lawsuit against an Opie and Anthony show host who, he says, defamed him on air by calling him a whore who had sexual designs on chickens.
When you read it in the paper, it's so much funnier than when you hear it.
It's wonderful.
Can we play our chicken audio today? Get that ready, but go ahead. Continue.
Oh, here he goes. And then in quotes, the chicken crossed the road because it thought that Hollander would try to F it. Jim Norton said on the satellite radio show.
How do you sue for that? How do you sue for that as a man?
Yeah,
how do you prove it?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you get into the chicken? The chicken would have to confirm that that's indeed why he crossed the road, and that's impossible to do.
No.
Chickens can't testify in open court.
Of course they can't.
Is that why you crossed the road? We don't know what he's saying.
What is he saying?
He's food.
The stenographer throws her hands up in the air.
I don't know. He's just pecking and running around stupidly. What is it? What's that mean in chicken talk?
Either that or just have a chicken stenographer pecking at the keys like they do when they play that stupid tic-tac-toe at the carnival. Dumb-looking chicken.
But I think it's called, and somebody who knows more about English than I do, I think it's called, like, something so ridiculous that's obviously not believable in comedy or whatever it's called. I think it's hyperbole. Is that what it is?
Ooh.
Where it's such nonsense. It's such over-the-top idiocy in an argument. Like when you say this, like little things, and again, I don't know if this is accurate. The Giants, man, they killed the Jets. No rational thinking person thinks that the Giants murdered the New York Jets.
Yeah.
There's these things in our language that we just know, you just kind of, whatever. So nobody really thinks that the chicken crossed the road, in all honesty, to avoid having sex with this man. Like, there's not any rational person that would hear that and believe that's why the chicken crossed the road.
Not.
And you, again, could never prove it since chickens don't have a grasp on our language.
No.
And it would react the same if you said, is that why you crossed the road? Or did you cross the road because you're a dumb animal who thought there was feed over there?
I would love to see a lawyer stand up and say, could you point out the chicken if he's in this courtroom right now? And a little chicken sitting in the stand.
in a little
You
chicken.
have to point him out.
Has a chicken tie.
Yo, chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kept, and then they bring the chicken on to testify, and there's a hush over the courtroom.
Yes.
He's finally, because no one thought the chicken was going to show up.
No.
They thought he was going to shoot himself like Margison in A Few Good Men in a hotel room and put on his dress chicken blues and commit suicide. But the chicken shows up in court.
But Jimmy, by the way, I got to clear some up because I don't feel like suing. I don't have a bestial colon.
No.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right. Opie is right. I said Opie DJ's bestial, and the colon was actually in the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
I was saying no.
I mean, I have my issues, but I don't have a bestial colon.
No, I would have said sweet. So we continue here. It's on the Southern. Okay, let me read this say, in case anybody missed it.
Yeah.
In quotes, it's his host who he says defamed him on air by calling him a whore who had sexual designs on chickens. And in quote, the chicken crossed the road because it thought that Hollander, quote again, would try to F it, Jim Norton said on the satellite radio show in August. Hollander said he'd agreed to go on the show for what he thought would be an intelligent discussion about a suit he filed seeking to force Columbia University to drop its women's studies programs. But like, first of all, who comes on this show thinking this is where I'm going to go to have an intelligent discussion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Who in their right mind would go on this show to think they're going to have... And I think a lot of times people are surprised.
When we do have them.
Right.
But that's not our...
But who thinks this is
our MO.
NPR?
Right.
Yeah.
Just by the name of the show. And I do a lot of press. See, this is the I do a lot of press as well. Like, I do phone calls to the radio shows. And I always... It's like, let the buyer beware. Let the caller beware. I always do a little bit of homework on every radio show I'm calling into. Never once will my publicist put me on a radio show and I don't know what kind of radio show it is. Ever. And if I am dumb enough to just call radio shows, then again, let the caller beware. Why would I be so stupid as to call radio shows and not know who I'm calling? Why would I go on a forum nationally and not have any idea about the radio show? What all you got to do is Google it or find out or ask. It's silly.
He, well, obviously, with 8 lawsuits running in New York, this guy is one of those lawyers that just likes to sue.
It's his thing. Everyone tries to come up with their thing.
And I hate the legal system. That's what I was saying. I hate the legal system being abused like this because there are legitimate cases that have to be addressed, and I hate seeing this abuse.
Jim in Texas. Jim?
Yeah, guys, just wondering when Jim's testifying in court, is he going to look over at the fellow and go, "What up, bird?"
God damn, it's a good one.
What up, bird?
Please point out the chicken. What up, bird?
No, what up, bird? Oh, that's a damn good. Thank you, David.
Nice.
I forgot to, and by the way, I think he was right. Michael K. Williams, Omar was right. The scene he shot was in season 2.
There
I was
you
trying
go.
to correct him when we were on.
Of course he was right. It's his show.
I know, I'm a dope. Oh, hope he doesn't sue me.
Oh.
All right, where are we in this article? Here we
We
are.
were up to the chicken.
Yeah.
I had no idea who these guys were, he said of the shock jocks, whose raunchy antics once got them temporarily kicked off terrestrial radio.
Yeah, we remember.
The appearance went bad after 10 minutes as show co-host Norton started calling Hollander a white dude hypocrite and a phony, the suit says. Did I say a white dude hypocrite?
I don't think you said a white dude hypocrite. I think you said a white guilt-ridden, whatever it was. That he had this white guilt.
Yes, hopefully I phrased it better than hopefully what I was trying to imply. I think my impression of him was that he was one of those older white guys that wants to kind of ingratiate himself to the black community.
Yes.
And was afraid to do something that would be seen as like, racist or too pro-white. I think that's what my impression was.
He's got such an agenda, this guy, and it comes off as very misogynistic. He was against the women's studies groups, and then the black studies groups, he said, were fine because they didn't promote any kind of hatred or things like these women's groups do. That's what he said. And then we brought up plenty of examples of black groups that have had people give speeches that are known to give hate speech, and he just wouldn't buy it. And that's why we called him a hypocrite.
Yes, and I felt there was a double standard. And that's what annoyed me, especially when you're getting into legal issues. Like if you're just a guy having a debate, but when it comes to you're going into court, and all of a sudden I'm arguing with you, and I think, wow, that's really inconsistent thinking, and that's real inconsistency. That's going to annoy me. And I remember he said, well, it's scientifically been proven that male and females are different, but there is no difference racially according to science. And I think my rebuttal was, well, yes, but there are differences racially in social settings.
Yeah.
And we all know that. So to deny that is just stupid or dishonest. I mean, we all know that there's differences socially in the way we're raised, whether you're black or white or Italian or Irish or Jews. That's
cultural differences.
Yes. And the last one here, it says, so after I called him a white dude hypocrite, which hopefully again I phrased it less ridiculously. And
I have a feeling you said exactly that.
I want to hear that clip and hear you say white dude.
I'm going to bet you said exactly that.
I very well might have.
And you know what? I can see you going, you're just a white dude hypocrite.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not giving yourself credit. I think you said it, and it came across really funny.
With a very Bob Kelly delivery.
Yeah.
You white dude hypocrite. Or maybe I was doing Quincy. You're just a white dude hypocrite. And your whole sick society.
You're just an scapegoat.
You're an scapegoat. You in the chicken hiding. Now, before you answer the lawsuit, that's a callback to an old Quincy bit.
Of course.
Someone's like, got kicked off the radio once.
Yeah,
well, it's been a few times.
He gave out Hollander's email address and urged listeners to harass him.
I said this in the office.
That's
when I
true.
read this. I go, there's no way Jimmy's going to say to harass anybody.
I wouldn't.
We know better.
I really wouldn't say that.
You find the word harass in there because we know better, dummy.
And if I gave out any type of contact information, it would have been what was already posted on a website. Of
course.
For instance, if you go to his website, can you go to his website real quick and just see if there's an email? Because I may have given that out.
Is it frivolousLawsuit.com?
And said, if you know this guy and you can contact him. I've many times encouraged listeners to contact people. It's right on the top, right there. His email address
is
on top.
Top of his page.
There you go.
So to encourage, I've never once on radio said hassle somebody or ever.
We want to know what some of these other lawsuits he's involved with.
I want to know subject matter. I want to know his win-loss record on these things.
Who has 8 lawsuits going at one time?
This guy.
What does that say about a person?
This guy.
And can I say the last sentence here? This is what bothers me about Dara Gregorian. Norton did not return a call about the suit filed in Manhattan. Unless you didn't leave a message, Dara. I don't know who you are, but from the Post. You did not leave me a message. I checked my cellular, and I checked my home message. I did not get any messages from anybody in the press. So don't say you called and left me a message. It's absolutely not the truth.
This is the MO of a lot of reporters. We have so many people working for the show. Call her up and go, all right, how did you try to get a hold of Norton?
Yeah, how do these news people, they can't get a hold of Jim Norton?
Well, maybe, hold on. I don't like the way Anthony implies that I'm such a nobody that it's very easy. Now, please.
Well... I have implying
people,
that.
I have people protecting me.
We just got to bring you down to earth a little bit, Jimmy. You out there in Hollywood being a big star. You had to come back and get knocked down a couple.
And it was a possible
doing 3 TV shows in 1 week. What's wrong with you?
Jeez.
I know. I heard that. Did you hear the Carson Daily? I did that for you guys.
You're a whore.
I heard the Carson Daily was hilarious with the Steve stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into it after the break. This is Norton's Welcome Back show. It's going to be all about Jimmy today.
I feel very good.
Highlighted break sign.
All right, we'll take a break and come back. We want to catch up a little bit, so we'll go and come back. But that's to say that I've encouraged listeners to harass somebody.
Never
is an out and out lie. I've never once, no matter how angry I was, said for listeners to do that. I've asked listeners to contact somebody if they know him and find out what's going on, because people listen and they all know. And I've gotten great information about doing things like that.
Or if we have a heated discussion with somebody and they have a public website with their email address on there, we can absolutely direct listeners to that website, to the email address, and say, and I think what you said was, hey, you heard it, email this guy, let him know what you think about it. The word harass never comes up.
Ever.
Hey, do you think that's stupid to even use the word harass?
And I wouldn't want you to be harassed. There are people who hate me who would have sided with you. It's all fair game. Listeners could write you and say, hey, we agree with you too.
This guy can't be for real. It comes down to this. He can't be for... I'm still thinking this is a joke.
Yeah, right? Well... He's probably
we'll have to wait and see.
At his hip hop class. Dude, the thought of him doing look at him. The thought, he looks like Tom Brokaw.
Yes.
Doing hip hop.
He looks like Tom Chiasano, actually.
A hip hop, a hippie, hip hop.
You just insulted Chiasano, but it's kind of accurate. He looks like every high school math teacher you've ever had. Just an
Did they Photoshop the dandruff off the suit? Like that looks like the type of dark suit that would just have dandruff on it. I hate lawyers. I hate them. And when you go into a court, you just see them, and they're all from the same mold. And this guy is just uber lawyer to me. Mm-hmm. He's just one of these guys. 8 running lawsuits. Please.